Meanwhile, in New York, the UN Security Council last week passed a resolution calling for increased participation of women in peace-building efforts worldwide. It's part of the UN's broader effort to include women in the political process and its struggle to end violence against women. Our UN correspondent Stephen Fee has the story.
It's the first directive in more than a decade that substantially addresses women's participation in global peace and security.
Women's participation in peace efforts is a matter of gender equality and universal human rights, and crucial to achieving sustainable peace, economic recovery, social cohesion, and political legitimacy. Today's resolution makes that point loud and clear.
It comes at a time of massive refugee outflows from Syria, putting women's lives in jeopardy, and allegations of violent war crimes in Africa.
Mass atrocities that included violence targeting women and girls have occurred in the past year in the context of a diverse situation as DRC, Mali, and Syria. And this has to be a challenge that we face together.
The resolution calls for an end to sexual abuse, but goes a step further, calling for more women at the peacemaking table.
In 1995, there were no women from Bosnia involved in the Dayton Accord discussions. In the Arusha agreements for Burundi in the year 2000, 2 women out of 126 delegates. Right now, there are a number of peace processes where there are no women sitting at the table.
For the first time in the institution's history, the UN has 5 peacekeeping operations being led by women. But only 3 of the 10 UN-backed peace deals this year provide for women's political participation, and the UN has struggled to end impunity, at times among its own partners. This February, the UN threatened to halt support for 2 Congolese military battalions after soldiers were accused of raping 130 women and girls. And UN peacekeepers in Haiti have repeatedly been accused of rape. In 2007, more than 100 Sri Lankan peacekeepers were sent home after allegations of sexual abuse and misconduct.
The UN is not a court. The UN cannot itself prosecute these violations, especially when it's a matter of troops and police that are donated or volunteered from member states to come to peacekeeping missions. But the UN has to make sure and follow up with member states that these violations are prosecuted domestically.
While the latest resolution is a sign of progress, member states deleted a provision that would have vetted peacekeepers for past abuses of human rights. Stephen Fee, CCTV at the United Nations in New York.